First of all, thank you very much to the organizers for giving me a chance to share our experience, and I hope this is going to be an opportunity to start developing contacts and relationship with African space community and the Baltic one. Even though Baltic countries are not far away, it's the first time I'm here, so I'm very pleased to have this opportunity. As our Nigerian friend, I will remind you where Czech Republic is, because it's much smaller, in the middle of Europe. You probably know that bridge, which is very famous abroad. And in terms of space, we started working with the European Space Agency in 2005, and we became full members already 3 years later. Even though this preparatory program for European cooperating states should last at least 5 years, we were able to accelerate it. That was partially because we have the background from the Russian cooperation, just as you here in Latvia, so we were not starting from scratch. And from 2012, as you probably know, we have the Galileo headquarters in Prague, which is very useful in activities related to satellite navigation. I'd like to say a few words about SMEs, because I just consider that SMEs are the motor of economy, and very innovative, very cost-effective and fast responding. This is why ESA and the EU and other organisms are providing a number of supporting programs or activities to help SMEs against the big companies. But it's not enough. We have to show our own initiative and do things for ourselves. And so we are doing it in the Czech Republic by creating our association. That association is a member of a pan-European SME association, SME for Space. And last but not least, we have STSG, which is the regional initiative, and it's amazing how far it got within 1 year of its creation. So our association was founded in 2006, and actually the main objective at that time was to protect ourselves against the help of our government. At that time, the management of space activities was very anti-industry, and when we tried to defend ourselves individually as small companies, we didn't get anywhere. So we teamed up, and it worked. We could talk to ministers, and actually in the end teamed up with the ministry, and we managed to, together with the others, to create a very important change in the management. And now we are very happy with the Czech government support of our space activities. So we can focus on the other core goal of our association, that's to promote the technology and the know-how of our members, and to develop partnerships. This is currently the bulk of our work as an association. And well, as I already said, we are very pleased to be involved in STSG. We were in it from the beginning, and all our members are looking forward to be able to contribute to the projects, and if the first one's in Africa, it will be fantastic. As people from Latvia know, you're about to start the program for European Cooperating States, PECS. So we did that in 2005 to 2008. And at that time, we had practically no space industry, but the program enables us to develop some capabilities. I will not go into details, but it's satellite navigation, it's Earth observation, it's image information mining, and so on. Apart from ESA, we also worked in other space programs, Galileo Search and Rescue, for instance, in Spain, ground segment processing for a Russian system, or telecommunication, satellite telecommunication for air traffic, so civilian air traffic. When we joined ESA, I should maybe mention for our African friends that in ESA, when you become a new member, It's very difficult to start because normally all the projects are won in competitive tenders. And if you're a beginner, you're competing with companies that have been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years, you have no chance. ESA has a 6-year period during which some of the budget that you have available is allocated to competitions only within the country that is new. So in 2009 we had this call where we competed beginners with beginners, and this is a list of the result of the project that we did. Again, it was related to satellite navigation, but also to telemetry telecommanding, thermal models, digital thermal models, and other activities. I presume you will get these slides distributed, so most of the details are for reference. In the second call, the range of activities broadened up a bit. For instance, we have passive component test facilities. We have development for launchers. The last company at bottom, epoxy core development. This is materials for the new generation launcher in ESA. And this year, actually, this period of internal competitions is coming to the end, and we will be faced with competing with all the other states. So it's going to be quite tough, but we've already started, developed some very good partnerships with a number of companies, big ones like Astrium or Airbus Defence and Space now, with Thales, but also with small companies. And there are some projects which we have already won in the international competition. Interference monitoring for GNSS, remote sensing areas, robotic telescopes, and other projects. I don't think I'll go into detail because we are running late. You'll have this for reference afterwards. Recent projects, there is a new program starting in ESA called Euclid, and we are in it from the beginning. We won some contracts in the EGSC. If I can remember what it stands for, electric ground support equipment. This is quite a complex area, and we are already winning some references. We're also working in mission operations in ESOP, which is the Satellite Operations Center, and we are developing EGNOS simulator, and I'll mention that later on as well. And we are starting to have some commercial successes because all these countries, when they put so much money in space, they want to see some returns eventually. So we've had a very big success that one of our members won a contract with the Americans for Iridium, a key element of the fleet, the solar panel deployment mechanism, and a massive project because having 80 satellites is not the usual situation. And this is going to come from Czech Republic. On the international collaboration, ESA itself says that we should not just focus ourselves on ESA member states, but look further, because space is paradoxically very small in terms of projects or money for them. So same as TSG, we are looking at countries or regions outside of Europe, and we have advanced most of all with Japan and with Brazil. With Japan, we have signed a cooperation agreement with a sister SME association in Brazil, with the Brazilian Space Agency. We started networking with the Brazilian industry. We visited their launch site, and this year the Brazilian industry will come to Prague. And here I would like to say, if we are going to proceed in cooperation, I think personal contacts are very important, even though video is a good start. So we should look at possibilities of making visits either in Africa or in Europe to actually get to know each other better. Excuse me. This is a list of the companies, no time to go through it. It's 14 members, and at the end of this I have a summary of the technologies. precise mechanical sub-assemblies. This is where the solar panel deployment mechanism comes in. Space qualified electronics. We have a number of experiments flying on Earth orbit and solar orbit. Passive electronics. Tantalum capacitors from Czech Republic are #1 in the world, and they are, for instance, on the Mars rover, Curiosity. Advanced materials development on the new European launches, and a number of areas in software, navigation, satellite control system, Earth observation, and the EGSC. So I think I'll skip this. Basically, we are very keen to look for further partners abroad, and we see STSG as a very good vehicle to achieve this, and this today's meeting is a very good example of this, giving us an opportunity to meet our African friends and start realizing how we can complement each other in the future. As we were talking today, I was thinking maybe some ideas for some little steps to start cooperation, and there was a mention of EGNOS being extended to Africa, and Czech Republic has done quite a lot of work in EGNOS, and now with the GSA being in Prague, we are even more focused on satellite navigation. So we can provide, for instance, educational tools which can be used by universities to train students about how EGNOS works. We have some performance tools, real-time performance tools, which can be used to see how the extension of the system performs, how it compares between Africa and Europe. In GMES, we have, for instance, a free open source scalable catalog, which is very, very convenient. And eventually, we hope to see projects through STSG. Another idea, there was a mention of the African space policy. Czech Republic has got a national space plan which was created about 4 years ago, and now we are writing a new version for our new government. And I think here, even though from the list of the items it's obviously going to be very similar, I think there might be some ideas which we could share where the other party hasn't thought of it yet. And with the Baltic countries, we can share our experience from the PECs, bad and good experience both, and so can our Polish friends. And our first years of membership in ESA, 5 now, and eventually we would like to see cooperation in bids to ESA projects. So, and I would have forgotten, invitation to Prague, but it's no doubt too late. Next week there is a 3-day conference in Europe, and it includes European Union, ESA, about 1,000 visitors. So if you have spare time, we welcome you in Prague very soon. This is what it looks like. It hasn't been. The beer, yes, it's an essential part of Czech culture. So this is my contact. Thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to you and developing some direct contact between our companies. Thank you very much.